Okay, this is just a little video I'm making and narrating of where I grew up. So this is my parents' home. This is our backyard. And as you see in the distance there's some big, beautiful mountains where we spent a great deal of time hiking and running around. Here is the back of the parental family home. This is the neighbor house, the Memmets. They had a great tree swing, and if you can see slightly the top through the, as you can see slightly through the top of the trees, there's a nice little A-frame kind of fort that the neighbor built primarily for us kids, because he was a good man like that. Now we walk back just to get a little better view of the mountains through the trees here. These mountains are where I spent just a ton of time in my youth, often with my dad's Browning .22 rifle. And let's see here. There used to be a tall poplar tree where this pine is right now. They grow very fast, but they're not very robust, so they don't live for very long. So can't get a perfect view of the mountains here, but right down here we used to actually take our motorcycles down in here, and you can go down and then burn around down there, heading back toward the house with Jack. Jack, say hello for posterity, such as yourself. Okay. But this was a great backyard for me and my brothers and our high school buddies. Perfect for backyard football. What we have, you can see here, this street here is Robbins, and there's a house here, and then these pine trees. This was the Tonks house, pine trees, and then the Memmets. But my parents were able to get a double lot, and so our house faces onto Polk like the Memmets, but opens back onto Robbins like the Tonks. So it's quite a great yard, big, spacious. We've had lots of good football and frisbee football, and so this is the deck that I tried to do a backflip off of and landed on my back. I missed the mats, and Crystal Paul, I was probably 7 years old or so, and I really was fond of Crystal, but I landed on my back and knocked the wind out of myself and knew I was about to start crying, and I didn't want Crystal to see me cry, so I had the brilliant idea that if I would just quickly punch her in the gut, then she would flee and not see me cry. Down here, you can't really see it anymore. We built a big fort down here, kind of on the order of this one, but there was a big construction project at the Canyon Cove Apartments, and so we found our wood. I say found, the better term is probably stole all of our wood from the construction site to build our little tree house. That probably wasn't right, come to think of it, in hindsight. This deck we would also leap from onto mattresses down below from the railing, and there was much rejoicing. Up here we have my dad's deck, and so he can look out from his window up there and have a beautiful view of the Ben Lomond Peak, great mountain range off to the north. The mountains I was showing initially were in the east. These homes here weren't here at all. This was just a big open field area with a kind of a motocross track that we had created. And over to the right was a hill called the No Dumping Hill, which was, because it had a sign that said no dumping. But it was a great challenge for everybody to come around in their Jeeps and things like that and try to climb the No Dumping Hill. Also my dad's deck, which we used to leap off of that onto mattresses too. We'd get all the mats and blankets from the beds and things and leap. So there was much leaping done. Here we have the now overgrown volleyball pole. My brother and I made these with I don't know if you can even see, there's a tire here at the bottom that we bought concrete and filled with our paper out money, and these poles, and here's the little thing to hook the net onto, and up here and had some little lights so we could play some outdoor volleyball. That was quite fun. Those trees there are peach trees, and there are some nice apple and apricot trees and such. I remember just vaguely when we moved into this home. We used to live 2 houses down the street, but we moved in from about, I was about age 2 in 1973. But I remember along the side of these walkways, we had, we dug a deep, about 1 foot wide and about 2.5 foot deep trench that we filled with gravel. Here comes Josie. And that was to catch the runoff, the water from the sidewalks. You can see the windows to the basement, the window on the right. I moved from various different bedrooms, but the one on the right there is where I spent most of that was the bedroom I lived in the most. Here's Mom. All right, we are coming. Thank you, thank you. There's my mother. But I remember when those trenches were dug, and my dad was out with a pickaxe, and they were filling them up with water just for fun, and we kids, so that we could climb down in them and thrash about. Don't know what else we haven't seen yet. Yes, there's a cat and a crazy lady. But this is, coming through the back door. This attic window that you see on the right, we would often scale this tree, leap onto the roof, and then go in through the attic window there if we were trying to sneakily, or at least pretend we were being sneaky, creeping in and out of the house. So that's it. I wonder, can we see Ben Lomond from here? We used to have a great view. The other thing that we miss now is in the distance here to the west. Now we see a lovely Coachman motorhome. We used to be able to, before these homes were here, as I was growing up, see all the way out onto the Great Salt Lake. So you have to the north, I'm going to just see if we can get a little view of Ben Lomond, but to the north there's the Ogden Canyon, and we'd get big canyon winds that would come every morning. We'd have really a lot of wind from about 8 a.m. No, from probably about 6 a.m. until about 10. And that would keep it so that the air was really fresh and nice. But we would have the big mountains primarily to the east, and what we can no longer see out here to the west is the Great Salt Lake. Now we're going to walk over here to the No Dumping Hill, which is primarily grown over. The hill that I mentioned, where all the people would come with their Jeeps and things and try to climb the No Dumping Hill, and we would zoom up it we were a Honda family, so we had our paper out money to buy our Honda CR 2-strokes. I had a little 2-stroke Honda CR80, but it could come up that No Dumping Hill pretty quickly and get some pretty good air off the top to the delight of neighbors and friends. So this is the view from my dad's deck, and let's see, this is actually Ben Lomond. And there's a... Okay. We will.